Hi guys, my name is Steph and this is Dotting with Dragons. Welcome in if you're new and welcome back if you're returning. I'm so happy to be sharing these three really adorable animal kits with you today. This is from Diamond Art Club and they're all three square kits, which I can tell because they say here square, 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 and also they have the blue labeling and the box here, and that would be different if they were round kits. So we've got Flow by Catriona Crahan, Mushroom Hat Frog Friends by All Claire Studios, and Sky Turtles by Kusine Kasil. Okay, so the first one we're going to take a look at is Flow. This one is really pretty to me. I have been keeping betta fish since the pandemic. So I do not currently have one in the 10-gallon tank. There's a whole nother story to that. But we have had a couple, and it was kind of a project my son and I started, was an aquarium in the pandemic when a lot of people were stuck at home. And I've had aquariums before. I've had fish before. I actually had some Ryukin goldfish that were in a 20-gallon when I was in college. They lived to be about almost 10 years old, actually. I think one was 9.5 when he passed away, and the other one was probably about 6, and she was always kind of sickly. They were Petco fish, so there's that. But betta fish have been, they're just so fun. They're so beautiful. And anyway, so we've had these kinds of fish, and I've been waiting for Diamond Art Club to come out with a Siamese fighting fish canvas. They've had one or two in the past, but nothing that really spoke to me like this. So I'm going to go through the toolkit just once on these kits. They're all going to be like this. You're going to get a large large tray, sorry, with a sliding lid. These are really nice to use. This is a 7-placer, a heart-shaped thing of wax. You're going to want to peel that back to access the wax underneath. And then this is some of their signature putty that they put in their twist and pick pens, and I'll show you that in a minute. They kind of conveniently put them in there. So, oops. Okay, so there's that. You also get some baggies, which if you want to kit up into baggies, this will probably not be enough baggies. But I love these to keep my spare drills in, and I've collected them over many, many kits. So I hang on to them to help store my spare drills. And then this is your twist and pick pen. You can see you can push this in. It is a push-in tip, not a screw-in tip. This is a thin 4-placer. Can I get you to focus a little bit? Thin 4-placer. And then this is, it pops off. You've got a brass tip here with a hole in there, and you twist this down and the putty will come out. Trying not to make it all come out too fast. But the more you twist, okay, are we coming? Yep, that's starting to come out. You can see that little glob on the tip there. Yeah, that's putty that's coming out. So that is the stuff that they include. I had it somewhere. Oh, that's the stuff that they include in here, that clear stuff. It's actually what's filling this tip right here. So that's pretty cool. You can unscrew these. That's how you refill it. So yeah, I just suggest if you've never tried one of these before, play around with it. It's kind of fun. I'm going to be destashing a bunch of these kits that I have because I don't need so many kits, and I don't really deal with. I don't really prefer the twist and pick pens, but they're a great upgrade. So you get this pamphlet in here, and it's got all sorts of information. On top you see we got a Trading Quest cards. It's a secondary rewards program with Diamond Art Club. They do include one of these on most of their newer kits, but you're never guaranteed to get one, but most of the time they will have one. And they have a level, there's a color here, bronze, and I was going to say the diamonds. The design on the back and the color of this foil here You see this says a bronze. There are black cards, silver cards, gold cards, and bronze cards. This is the most common one to get, and then you see you have a scratch off code here that you can scratch this off, and you can collect amounts of different types of cards for different benefits, like a gift card or a custom diamond painting. So that would be kind of cool. Here we have our pamphlet. We've got these little stickers. I'll use these in my logbook. Here are the colors. So we've got 65 colors here, and you can see we do have quite a bit. 2 ABs and 4 fairy dust drills. Those are drills that have like a mica powder covering on them, making them very shiny. And here's the original artwork with some details about the canvas and a start and end date if you like that. So this little image is really beautiful, and I do like to put this in my logbook once I unbox these, but I know a lot of people just like to do that once they work on them. So here's this. I also get this nice sturdy insert box, and I will say, just because I have it out, a really good use for one of these is they fit the Diamond Art Club large trays in here perfectly. So I've actually done that before where I've stacked them up in here, and you can even have it vertical or horizontal. It's a nice way to reuse that box if you're not going to be storing your canvas in the box, or I guess even if you are storing the canvas in the box for a time while the canvas is not in the box because you're working on it, presumably, you can use it for that. So lots of cool ways to use these. Okay, so this kit I picked up on a restock a while ago. I don't even remember how long ago it was, but since I'm on kind of a low buy here in 2026, I did buy this pre-2026, so it's been sitting in the box, so I figured I'd get it out and share it with you. Okay, I'm gonna move these boxes right here. Down, down, down. Okay, here we go. So I don't have any pieces by this artist. This is my very first. Oh, look at that. He's so precious. Oh, he's so cutie. I'm gonna put my tablet here. Oh, look at them. I love their little grumpy lips, you know, like they're just so grumpy. I love them. Okay, here's our drills. We can see the colors really do kind of reflect what we see on the canvas. And already we can see we've got a decent amount of 310. Expected, you know, because of that background will pop. So here we've got all these different sections of the same color, which is known as color blocking. Okay, and then we got all this confetti, which is a whole bunch of these little changes in the canvas. Let me get you up close. See how there's like all these different symbols and colors in this small area? That's going to give you a lot of detail, but it's also going to make it very vibrant. So this is one I'm really excited to work on. And it's not a huge canvas either. This is a 29 inch by 22 inch or 73.7 centimeters and 55.8 centimeters. So when I say that it's not a huge canvas, I do realize that that comes from a place of perspective. So for some of you, this is going to be a massive canvas. Respect, okay? Total respect, totally respect that. This is not a small one by any means, but it is really nice that we've got this nice clear subject. The symbols are very clear. We've got nice sticky glue. The branding is at the top, Diamond Art Club. And yeah, just this is going to be gorgeous. So the other thing I want to point out is we have a lot of these like lines of the same color. That's called line blocking. So if you've never heard that term before, now you know. And in some of the plants down here, I do believe that this artist stated for this piece she may have used they have to state whether or not the artist is using AI in part of their work, but Diamond Art Club, as far as I know, historically has, up until this point at least, been requiring them to do significant hand touch-ups of their own. So they might, you know, the AI use is supposed to be very minimal, but there are some pieces that come out by Diamond Art Club that you can they really kind of seem like maximal AI. This might be one of those pieces for you. I'm not sure. So depending on what your stance is on AI, might affect whether or not there are certain types of artwork that you choose to pick up. So I'm going to find our specials in here and then point them out in the canvas, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, and I'm back. So I found our specials. So let me show you the two ABs first. We've got these two gorgeous colors of yellow and blue. You can see there's not a ton of the blue. And then we've got 4 fairy dusts, 2 of which are these teals. And you can see 993 and 964. And 993 is a shade or a little titch more green or darker than, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. 993 is just a little bit darker than 964, yes. So you can see the differences. I'm going to show you where these are together because they're pretty much together next to each other on the canvas. And then we've got these 2 fairy dusts. We've got this beautiful rosy pink Z961 and this yellow Z743. Okay, so these are our specials. So I'm going to start you off with the ABs. So this yellow AB here is going to be the equal sign. So when I look at Mr. Fish, I'm going to bring him up a little bit closer to you. I want to show you because we've got, sorry, it is the equal sign, yes. Because we also have the fairy dust is the W. Okay, so this is the equal sign. Okay, so this right here, that shade of yellow is going to be our yellow AB. So you can see the W2, that is going to be the yellow fairy dust. That minus symbol is not a special drill. But I wanted to point out to you the shade of that yellow because we're going to find this AB all over the fish. Okay, so we've got it up here in this bubble. Okay, so not this like this orangey minus symbol, no. The one that's right here, okay, we've got that yellow AB. Right underneath it is the yellow fairy dust. So these two are going to really play off each other and sit nicely on the canvas. And then we've also got our yellow AB, excuse me, we also have our yellow AB kind of in the spines here of the fish, and then we've got it throughout his face or her. Well, actually they have sexual dimorphism, so this should be a male betta fish. So we've got, so I can say that. We've got the equal sign, so a lot of this yellow AB is here, it's in the spines, and it's just a little bit here. Like I said, over here in this flower, we've got a little bit here, but not a ton. And then we've got a little bit in these bubbles. So the bubbles, and then of course we already talked about down here, and then in this part of this little flower down here. So that's where most of this yellow AB goes. And then as far as the blue AB, the blue AB is the, I call it like the feathering of the arrow, basically, symbol. It's this one right here. So that one is going to be, so there's not a ton of it, as you can see. Where did I find it? I found it mostly in the spines of our guy here. Why is my eye? Man, that happens like way too much, where my eyes just completely symbol blind, I guess. Okay, so I actually see it. I found it again. It's this sort of like cerulean blue right here, and it's also a little bit sprinkled here and here, sprinkled. Not so much in the body of the fish, not even really down here, but just sort of up here and here, and yeah, and that's it. So like I said, there wasn't a ton of that one, so that's why we didn't really find that one. So back to this yellow, well, we found it, it just wasn't all over the place. So this is that yellow fairy dust, and this one's gonna be sitting up next to that yellow AB, remember? So this is gonna be the W on the canvas, so it's really gonna kind of stick out like here in the spines and here. It's gonna be underneath this bubble symbol, and here. We're gonna have it all over the top of his face. It's gonna be down in his chinny chin, even on his little lip. Guys, their faces are so funny. Their lips. I had a betta who had a different color upper lip than the rest of his face. So it looked like he was constantly frowning because, or some people thought it looked like he had a mustache because it was a different color. It was so funny. Yeah. So we have it here, and these little fins and stuff. Sorry about the washer and the dryer in the background. And then we have it here. We're also going to have a good amount of it in some of these flowers. But the flowers where their time to shine is really going to be with the pink. Yeah, because we got a little bit down here. So that's the yellow fairy dust. So this rosy pink fairy dust, I didn't really find this in the fish. It's like this E symbol right here. Yep, there it is. Okay, so it's the E symbol. So where we're looking is in this flower. This is such a pretty fairy dust. So it's going to be like this chunk here, right here, above that black symbol. So it's going to be kind of this medium pink, and then it's here, and it's here. A little bit of it line blocking, kind of all over the place in that flower. And then here in this flower, let's see, we don't really have it there, but I did find it in this one a lot. So it's it's not the lightest pink in this flower, but it's sort of in the middle. So it kind of outlines the darker pink. So it's here, and it's here, right there, a little bit here, a little bit there. And then if we come down to here, it's all over this flower, just kind of like highlighting or low lighting those accents of pink in this one. So that's gonna be really pretty. And then here, nope, I didn't find it in here. So I'm a little bit tempted. I do have a little bit of it in our fishy friend right here in his face. I'm kind of tempted to maybe replace some of the spines with that one. Okay, and then these two I said I would do together because they pretty much are just next to each other on the canvas. We've got the plus sign and this down arrow pointing to the right. And you're gonna see those two together, and they stick out a lot because we've got a very not teal looking canvas. So see how this plus and down arrow are just next to each other like that? So those are gonna be in that bubble. They're gonna be primarily big chunks of it up here in the fish, and then we've got it here, and we've got them a little bit going through here. So that is Flow by Diamond Art Club and Catriona Crahan. These kits, as of this filming, I will link them below. They are all, I believe they're all out of stock, but they are not retired as of this filming. So you should be able to at least get on the wait list if they are out of stock, and hopefully you'll get a notification. Or if you don't want to wait, or if they since become retired images, you can always go to the D-Stash and look for them there. So had a lot of luck there. So that is Flow. I'm going to do our little froggy friends next. Alrighty guys, I am back with Mushroom Hat Frog Friends by All Clear Studios. So this is another one I think I mentioned before in the previous unboxing that I'd had these kits. I've been sitting around for a while, just needing to get around to unboxing them. This was one that when it originally came out, I did not get it. Like I said, these are all things I've gotten on restocks. And same toolkit. And this is one that I really regretted not getting because I love frogs. They are sort of my personality, along with my bearded dragon. Along with my bearded dragon, frogs are my personality. I'm the weird lizard frog lady. That's like what people think of me as. Anyway, Mushroom Hat Frog Friends. And I know I voted on this one. So we've got another bronze card here. That is fun. Ooh, Ooh, holy cow, the colors. There's 98 colors in this. Holy crap. And then there's 3 ABs and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fairy dust. Dang, that's a lot of specials for this. I mean, they're adorable and they're frogs. And they are sitting there with mushrooms on their hats. Look, listen. There is this toad. Should I bring him on? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go get him. I'll be right back. Okay, do you see this guy? He is probably a toad. Look at that face. If you've been in a Michael's craft store in the last couple years, you will probably recognize this guy. He's hilarious, and he actually hangs out on the shelf in the bedroom. And my son and I put him different places and make jokes of it. So we love him. He's our pet toad, and there you go. And look at that absolutely grouchy face. So yeah, he's a fun guy, and the story behind that was, so my son, he's so sweet, he's so sentimental about things, and we were in, oh, where was it? It might have been Joann's Fabric before they closed, because they used to have things like this too, you know, like around Halloween where they get all these weird like rubber bats and like weird random like creatures, I don't know, decorations and stuff. Well, anyway, so this guy had been out, and for like several years I was just like, no, we can't, you know, we can't buy that. We're not gonna buy that. Like several years. And so finally, like, Joann's closed down, and then Halloween came around, and I was like, oh man, Halloween at Joann Fabrics was the best. Okay, even if you were not sewing anything, it was so much fun to go in there with all the Halloween decorations. Anybody else remember that? Like, talk to me in the comments, please, because I really miss that place. Anyway, so we thought this guy was gone, and I was like, well, I guess we really missed our opportunity. And we saw him sitting at Michael's the following fall after Joann's had closed, and my son was like, oh my god, Mom, it's a toad, it's a toad. And I was like, yeah, but he's like some ridiculous price, right? So it was like, you know, we're not gonna, like, people aren't gonna buy all of them. There's usually some hanging out at the end of Halloween on clearance, and he was, and he came home with us. So that was like, my son was so excited about that. Okay, anyway, so that's the toad story. So here are our drills. We got another square kit here. This one's a little bit smaller than the last. It's 22 by 22 inches. So it is literally a square diamond painting. That is a square. You can see a lot of opportunity for color blocking here. And a little bit of, you know, confetti. I'm trying to find confetti. Confetti is usually big on plants, like in plants. So yeah, so you can see all the little color changes in there. Even that's not too bad, because there's a ton of that same color in here. It's just not big blocks of it. But anyway, look at these cuties. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, this is adorable, and they're sitting on the toadstool. What the heck? Okay, so we've got a lot of specials in here, so I'm gonna open this up, look for our specials, and be right back. Okay guys, so I've got your specials. 3 ABs and 5 fairy dusts. So I think the easiest way to do this is to show you actually on the sticker sheet instead of trying to grab the canvas and pull it up, but let me know in the comments if you have a preference. Anyways, so let's start with our ABs. We've got AB 5200. This is a classic, okay, and it's going to be this symbol right here. Basically, everywhere on the canvas that you see that bright white spot is what this is. So that you can see there's not a ton of this, but you can see it's a little bit like 1, 2, 3, 4, a little bit like dotted here. It's the bright white. Now this is not that symbol. It does look lighter, but it's not. Just bright pops of white, a little bit on the lip, around his face, his arm or her, and then we have a little bit on the nose here. So that's really all where that is. Then we've got AB 3078. This is a really pale sparkly yellow, and this one is going to be this symbol right here, this down to the right arrow. Okay, so where we're going to have that is a bunch of it. Oops, you cannot see that, Mr. Toad. give us our canvas. So you're gonna see a bunch of it like color blocked up here, okay? But then we're gonna see it a little bit here, sprinkle here in the little spots. Then we're gonna see a couple here, a little bit lining that lip. And let's see, we have a couple here around the eye here. And nope, that's not it. And then we've got a couple here, a couple there, a couple in here. That's really it. And I'm not really focusing on the bottom part of the canvas or the edges and around because there were no specials there. So just so you know. Okay, so that's our yellow AB. Our green AB is this really pretty like chartreuse green, and this is going to be the check mark symbol, so you can see it right there, 3819. This one's all over the place, so it's like the lighter, see this dark green? It's not that. It's not the lightest green, it's like the medium. Okay, so we've got like the medium and it goes all the way around the eye here, and it's all throughout this guy's face or gal. We've got it here in the toes. We've got it in this guy's arms and toes. We've got it a little bit here around the eyes, in the face, above the lip. This guy's not as green. This guy's more of like the pinky froggo, so there's not really any of that in here. We do have some of the check marks here though, on some of this foliage. And this fern leaf right here, we've got that lighter green. But then it's a little bit over here and this and the lighter green, but that's it. So that's our green AB. So next onto our fairy dust. The yellow one is 726. Focus, focus, sorry about the lighting. Okay, there we go. And that one's gonna be this yellow slash mark. So this one, again, I love where they chose to put these because all good spots you think. So it's highlighting the tip of the cap and the brim here and there. And then we got a little bit of it here around the top of the nose. And in this character here, I didn't see, yeah, that's right. I saw a little bit in the eye. That's it though. None over here in the plants. And then we've got some of the slash marks here along the lip. You can see that sort of yellow, and it's a couple here like highlighting this, okay? So that is where we have our yellow fairy dust. Then we have Z741 and Z740. So just like with Flow, we had those two teals that were like right next to each other a lot, and they're very similar. These are very close. So I'm going to start with the darker one, 740. That is going to be the stop sign or the cross out sign. I'm not sure. Is there like a general term for that? I'm not sure. But that one, and that's going to be a little bit more like this medium orange here. So we got it here, and it's kind of coming up here, and it kind of outlines these little spots. What do you call those spots on the toadstools? I don't know. But it's here. It's sort of that like darker orange a little bit. And then we've got it a little bit here in the eye and around the bottom of the eye and the bottom. It's just kind of like outlining. It's not here, not on that guy's eye. Actually, I don't see any of it on this guy. And then of course we've got those, that was the yellow fairy dust. And then just sort of, so you see a darker red, an orangey red, this like burnt orange. That is what we're looking at. So it goes all the way around here, and it just sort of outlines that. Then we've got 741, which is a little bit lighter of an orange, and this is going to be like a squiggly sign. 741. So this one is going to be sitting around a lot of the other specials. So where do we have this one? We have it in a lot of places right around the last color we had. So they're kind of going to be like flying out here in the toadstool hat. They're really going to complement each other. And it's cool because then this one goes around the eye here, around the eye here, a little bit in here, a little bit in there. And then of course this is like the next layer to the outline inside of that toadstool. Excuse me. And then just like one here, one there, a couple there. And then this one, we've got a little bit more just down here in this toadstool. So there's a little bit of that orange in here, okay? So that is that one. Now we have two pinks. And we've got, let's start with the Z3608. This one's a little bit more pale than the other one. And you can see the other one is a little bit more warm. This one's a little bit cooler toned. So the cooler toned 3608 is going to be this purple double triangle symbol. Okay, so this one's going to be like a very light lavender purple on the canvas, and it's going to outline this guy's hat. It's going to be in there. And then over here with this friend, we've got above the nose, we've got around the side of the eye, we've got on the arms and the toes where a little bit of light might be coming through this canopy and shining on this guy. So, and then we've got, again, there was none really in the background. All the specials are pretty much focused on our characters, on our main characters. So that's pretty cool. The last special drill is going to be this warmer pink. It's 3706. I really don't know what to call that symbol. Sorry about the bad nails, guys. What would you call that? Like some kind of double plus, or I don't know. What do you guys call that one? I really don't have a clue for that one. Okay, so this is more of like the pink look on the canvas. And we're gonna have this one. Wait, I didn't see it over here. I didn't see a ton of it because, again, there's not a lot. It's mostly in this guy's hat right here. So we've got this like pink that's here, and a little bit here, a little bit here, and not even here, not even there, and not here, not down here, but just a little bit of this like medium pink in there. Okay, so that's our specials. Mr. Toad says thank you for letting him join on this part of the tour. And now I will unbox our last one, our turtles. So I'll see you in a bit. All right, guys, thank you for hanging on with me. If you're here to the end, awesome. Let me know what you think of these unboxings and if these are any kits that you've been excited to see or you've done them yourself. So we've got Sky Turtles by Kusine Casil. I'm not sure what else they've done at Diamond Art Club. I'm not 100% familiar with this artist, so let me know. I think that this may have been a new artist, but anyway, this is another kit that I had hemmed and hawed and hemmed, and I'm really glad that I ended up picking this one up because this is my favorite kind of artwork, when they blend animals, majestic animals like reptiles, with like different types of art. So obviously, you know, the meaning of that can go beyond whatever image it is, and just what does it mean to you? And I love that about this kind of artwork. It kind of just evokes this more ethereal feel to it. There's another kit that I have a specials set from Diamond Painting with Sparklers called Seeding Imagination by Yume Art. She's one of my favorite artists. And it's very much similar to, it's this girl throwing out seeds on a beach, and there's these beautiful sea turtles behind her, and it reminded me of this. So here we have another bronze card. That's okay with me. I love the beautiful artwork. That's what I'm here for. Sky Turtles. And we have only 39 colors here. Wow. 1, 2, 3 ABs and 4 fairy dust. Only 39 colors. Okay, because I'm saying that because this canvas is 25.6 inches by 36.2 inches, so it's a little bit bigger than the others. But you know, sometimes you just don't need sometimes you don't need 100 bajillion colors. And here's our little toolkit, which what I do is I take out the baggies because I need those and put it over there in the de-stash pile. Okay, so I'm really excited for this one. Yeah. Anything reptiles, it is so hard. They come out with a lot of really great sea turtle canvases, and it's like sea turtles and frogs and tigers are like the three things, and dragons, but there's a lot of dragon artwork that I don't have. Those are the animals that really speak to me, that I'm like, you can't get all the canvases. You can't. Ooh, pretty. Okay, I think we're upside down here. This one's a little bit more hefty, and the drills show that. Look at those beautiful blues. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, so let's look at this canvas. This is the bottom, yes. Okay, we've got the artist, we've got the size, 65 centimeters by 91.8 centimeters. So yeah, it's a little bit bigger than the others. See if I can back out a little bit here. Nope, this is as far as we'll back out, but we'll give it some space. Mr. Toad, let's go over here. Oops. Wow. Ooh. The tablet just always sort of sits there. Ooh, we've got our first turdy. That's what my son calls them, turdies. Oh, oh look. Oh, I love that the focus of this canvas is the turtles. Like I said, I'm just rolling it back a little bit. Like I said, when this one came out, it was one of those like, I'm on the fence, and these days, unless it's a absolute must-have, like I sent it to licensing and I still love it just as much. That plus, would I have to go hunting it down on a D-stash if that was the only run, because I love it that much. So it has to be a combination of those two things. Would I have to hunt it down, and is it something that I voted for or sent to licensing? If it meets both those requirements, then it's something that I am interested in investing in. So this became one of those canvases, and I didn't get it right away. I can't remember when this one came out. It was sometime late last year. Was it even a, I wonder if this was even a no, it wasn't Black Friday release, but beautiful, big, nice poster size. I'm loving this like wash, this like wave of color through here. I bet this is chock full of specials. And then I love the fact that we have a lot of opportunity for color blocking here, as well as in here's a little bit more confetti. Confetti. There's confetti. I like that better actually. Confetti. It just, I don't know. Anyway, and the color blocking will make it go quicker. This is so precious. Look at these guys. And there's 3 of them. Significant for me because I have what is affectionately known as a triangle family, meaning we have an only child. So it's my husband and myself and my son. So having the 3 sea turtles, I know they're all like adults and, you know, turtles don't stick around and raise their babies, but I just think this is great. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna find our specials and then we will take a closer look at this canvas. I'll be right back. All right, you guys, so I know you can see this. These are probably the biggest bags of AB on one kit I've ever had. Like 2 bags of this blue fairy dust and 2 bags of this blue AB. So these are gorgeous, and most of the placement of these makes sense. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the ABs first, and I'm going to flip the canvas over. This is like half of the canvas, and then you can see we'll do the other half on the same color. So these blue ABs, it's a lowercase letter N, okay, and it is this sort of medium blue here. So if I take you down and we look at this corner here, you can see how the outline of these waves, see this N? That's all gonna be the blue AB. And then it's just sprinkled here, outlining that, a little bit here, a little bit there. And the blue fairy dust follows the same suit. The blue fairy dust is the feather, or the up arrow. I call it like the feather on the back of an arrow. Let me see if I can get this to focus. Okay, good. So you can see how those 2 are next to each other. So we've got an AB outlined by the fairy dust, but I said I was going to do that last. Okay. So I just wanted to kind of share with you that's what I'm looking at here. So in terms of this canvas with the blue ABs, we see them here outlining here in the turtles. They are a little bit in the turtles, but not as much as I thought that would be. So this one's got more like fairy dust, actually. in here, but we do got a little bit of the blue AB down here at the base of the carapace here. And then up here in this one, we've got the blue ABs coming through here, and then we've got a little bit in the face, and we've got a little bit like sprinkled on this flipper. And then if I flip you over, you can see we've got big swaths of this blue AB in here, big swaths of it, and then outlining the kind of crest where the wave shifts. It's almost like these are like waves one after another, kind of like cresting. And then we've got some of the AB here, and then sprinkled, sprinkled, sprinkled a little bit. And it just kind of lessens itself as we go on. So that is the blue AB. Now, as far as the white AB, a lot of us are already familiar with this color. This symbol they love to use for Diamond Art Club is this right here. So let me show you. That was the blue fairy dust. This is the blue AB we just looked at. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at this bright white. And it's easy to pick out my words. My God. It's easy to pick out because we have the bright white all through here. All these little bright white dots you can see at the bottom of the canvas. That's all that white AB, even this little random piece right there. And then up here, we start to have it outlining the head and the front of the flippers, and then here in part of the carapace and the head. So it's really easy to see where they put that white AB, and I love that that makes sense. Now we have our yellow AB, which is AB 972. This is the, right here, the anchor symbol. So you're gonna see we also have all these yellow fairy dust, so it'll be easy to mix them up when you're just looking at the canvas. But it is gonna be, let's see here, it's like the yellower, words today are like really hard, it's late. The yellower yellow, it's the darker yellow down here. You can see in this moon, it is a little bit in these shooting stars. Okay, we got some here, like the darker yellow, that's where you're gonna find it. One of them is there, a little bit here, here. I mean, it's, you know, there's not a ton of yellow in this canvas, and it's a little bit in here. So I think all of that really makes sense. So leading into these yellow fairy dusts, they are, well, this one is more like a lighter beigey, but all of them are gonna sit next to each other, and they're all gonna be in these stars. Like, let me start with the moon, actually. I think this will be the easiest place to show you because the stars sort of follow the same pattern. And let me get you up close here. So the 3823, which is arguably the palest one, yep, the palest one here, that one is going to be the check mark symbol. Okay, so this light color here, that's this fairy dust. The next fairy dust we're going to look at is the Z744. That one is like the next darkest yellow, as you can see here, and that one is going to be the parallel symbol, 744, up above the blue. Okay, so that one's sort of like the lighter, and you can see it's here. Okay, you can see it's also here. It goes across in this star. It's a little bit on the lighter end there, and it's a little bit in this guy. And then the darker yellow, woo, Z743 is the, it looks like a button to me. I don't know, that button symbol, 743. So that one is going to be, again, this symbol here. And you can see it's outlined. We've got that yellow AB is going to be down here, and it's outlined by that other fairy dust. So that's going to be a lot of fun, actually. I'm sort of surprised that they didn't use this opportunity to do any of these pinks, because that would have been fun too. So these three fairy dusts are going to be everywhere that there is yellow. That was not an AB, is going to be one of these fairy dusts. It's got fairy dust throughout the whole shooting star, throughout the stars. Very pretty. Stops right there. It's in this one, and it's here. That's all yellow fairy dust. Okay, so that's that. And then I think the one I am most excited about seeing is this blue fairy dust, 3766. And this guy is gonna be that symbol right there. So this one is, it is everywhere. So just like our blue AB friend, sorry, you're gonna see like this, you can see this dark, see the N, the lowercase n. If you speak English, in the English language, that's the lowercase n, and that one is going to be the blue AB. The one next to it, the feathered arrow, that is going to be this blue fairy dust, okay? So you can see how it pops out along the canvas anywhere there's blue, like that lighter color blue, and you see sort of the darker symbol that's coming down here. This is all fairy dust. So again, it's cresting in here. And then additionally, in the turtle, we have more of this fairy dust in the turtle. Let me show you. See this? That's all that fairy dust in that flipper. I was surprised that there wasn't a little bit more, but this outlining the, what are this, like the scoots. Are those scoots? I think there's a different name for them on the carapace. So they are here, they're all in the water, and this guy, there is a bunch of them in this flipper, and then it's here, not so much in here actually, but a little bit here. And then if we flip over, we're gonna see it throughout here. We're gonna see a little bit here and here. It's kind of like wrapped around these lighter colors. I'm gonna see it here. We're gonna have a little bit on the turdy right here, and then kind of like in the water, and then here, kind of like in the water in the sky, and then here, and a whole bunch chunk of it here, just like how we have those big long chunks of that blue AB. So let me put these away and I'll wrap up the video. Give me 1 second. Alrighty guys, I just wanted to wrap this video up with a big thank you for sticking it out with me. If you made it to the end of this video, feel free to put a turtle emoji. Let's see who's still here. So thank you for spending this time with me and unboxing these kits. Let me know in the comments what you thought, if you enjoyed this video, if you have any of these kits or going to be working on them. I got a fun idea. I thought when we were going through this, what about like adding glow-in-the-dark drills for those turtle outlines with that white? How cool would that be? Anyway, just a random idea I had as I was finishing this up. Feel free to hit subscribe and like the video if you liked it. That's a free way to kind of help the channel and help more people find us here. So if that's sort of, you know, an interest of yours, it's an interest of mine, and be fun to share future videos with you, and you get notifications and things like that. So stay tuned. I don't have any immediate plans to work on these. I think this turtle one though will have to happen this year for sure. So definitely stay tuned. I've got other unboxings coming up and a mid-year check-in with some plans for how the rest of 2026 is gonna go. So thank you for spending time. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.